Hello friends, I hope everyone is good. In this video, we will talk about the respiratory system. In the last video, we have talked about the structure of the coronavirus and why we want to know about the respiratory system, because this is the only system in our body which is affected mainly, especially in the beginning, by the coronavirus. So it is very important to know what is our respiratory system and how it works and where the virus goes initially and then where it goes later on. So our respiratory system can be divided into two parts. One is the upper respiratory system, which comprises the nose, the back part of the nose, which we call the nasopharynx, and an area which is above the larynx. Larynx is the anatomical part of the respiratory system. And then comes the lower respiratory tract, which contains the lungs, the other tubings, which we call with different names like bronchioles and trachea, and which I'll make a diagram of it. When you are eating something, then it doesn't go to your breathing system but goes to the food pipe, which we call the esophagus, and it is located on the posterior part of the our breathing circuit or the breathing system. So our breathing system starts from the nose, and on the posterior or back part of the nose is the area of the pharynx, which we call the nasopharynx. So let's see what happens once we have gone down the larynx, which is a part underneath which we have trachea. So let's make a diagram of the respiratory system. Say this is our trachea. Trachea is also known as the windpipe. It comprises of the certain cartilages. These are C-shaped cartilages. These are not completely encircling, but these are C-shaped. And on the posterior side, there is a membrane attached to the soft bone, which I am calling the cartilage. So this part is known as the trachea, which we commonly call windpipe. Trachea. Now, on the upper part of the trachea, there are two gateways, which we call the vocal cords. If I make these here, these are sort of two doorways, which we call vocal cords, and on top of it is the epiglottis. Epiglottis is a part of the larynx, and whenever we eat something, it closes its door. Food doesn't go to the trachea but rather goes towards the posterior side of it, which we call the food pipe or the esophagus. So this is epiglottis. Epi mean above, glottis mean the anatomical part which is located here. So this trachea will then subdivide into two branches or two pipes. The part of the trachea where this division happens is known as carina. This part is known as carina. Carina is the part of the trachea where it divides into two, right? One is right and one is left main bronchus. So these are the main bronchus. Main bronchus, and this is the right main bronchus, and this one is the left main bronchus. Now let's focus on the bronchi. These two are the right and left bronchi. These then subdivide, these bronchi then subdivide, and they'll make bronchioles. They'll make primary bronchioles. This is a primary bronchiole. It is smaller than the bronchi, obviously. Primary bronchiole. This is still the conducting part of the respiratory system, because our respiratory system has got two functioning portions. One is the conducting, which conducts the air from the outside to the inside and from the inside to the outside. The other part is the one which where entry of the oxygen from outside to the inside of the body and exit of the carbon dioxide from inside to outside of the body happens. So these are two functionally different parts of the respiratory system. So this primary bronchiole then will be divided into 2 or 3 secondary bronchiole. These are even narrower than the primary. So we'll call it the secondary bronchiole. These are secondary bronchiole. Then after the secondary bronchiole comes the tertiary bronchioles. Say these are even the narrower one. These are known as the tertiary or segmental bronchiole. Tertiary bronchiole, also known as the segmental bronchiole, and the secondary are also known as the lobar bronchiole. Now finally, these tertiary bronchioles, they ultimately make even some more narrower pipelines which we call the respiratory bronchioles. These are the respiratory bronchioles. Respiratory bronchioles. At the end of the respiratory bronchioles, there are certain, these are Graves-like structures which are present at the end of another pipe which we call the alveolar duct. This is respiratory bronchiole and this one is the alveolar duct. It has got certain grapes-like structure at the end of it which we call the alveoli. This is very important to remember this name because this is the one where coronavirus will interact with. So first of all, the virus will enter into the trachea, then it will come to the either right or left main bronchus, then down to the primary bronchiole, then to secondary and tertiary bronchiole, and ultimately it will enter into the respiratory bronchiole. At the end of it are the alveoli. Now these alveoli, if I make diagram of one alveolus, if this is the one alveolus, it contains type 1 and type 2 pneumocytes are alveolar cells. There are many more type 1 alveolar cell and very few type 2 alveolar cell or type 2 pneumocyte. These are type 2. Say I make these 2. But type 1 are more in number, but type 2 are less. So these are type 1 and these are type 2. So these are the type 2 pneumocytes which contain ACE2 receptors on their surface, angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor on their surface, where the virus attaches itself once the virus is inside of our body. So this is very important structure because this is the one where virus attaches and then virus enters in our body, which we will see shortly. So now we have seen the anatomy of the respiratory system, that starting from this windpipe, which is located in front of the food pipe, which food pipe is known as the esophagus medically. So in front of it we have got this food pipe, which is a trachea. On top of it is the larynx. Whenever we eat something, the food instead of going into the trachea, it goes back. On the back of it there is esophagus, it enters there. Why? Because there is a lid-like structure on top of the trachea which we call the epiglottis. It doesn't let the food slide into the trachea. So, but whenever we breathe in, the air goes inside the trachea, and if we inhale virus, coronavirus, it enters into the trachea, then goes down through all of the respiratory tract, which the trachea subdivides at the level of carina into right and left main bronchus. Then it subdivides into primary bronchioles, which are narrower than the bronchi. Then from the primary bronchioles, there are secondary or lobar bronchioles, then comes the tertiary or segmental bronchioles. At the end of the segmental or tertiary bronchioles, there are alveolar duct, which have got grape-like structure, which we call the alveoli, and alveoli are our main focus, because this is where coronavirus mainly goes, because 90% of the exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide, because we inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide, it happens at alveolar position, and only 10% transfer of the oxygen and carbon dioxide happens at the level of the respiratory bronchioles. Rest of the respiratory system is the conducting zone. It only conducts, it only takes part in the ventilation process rather than the diffusion process. So now let's see what happens once coronavirus is entering in our type 2 alveolar cell. Let me make a cell over here. Say this is type 2 alveolar cell. This is a cell, type 2 alveolar cell, and it has got ACE2 receptor on its top. This is ACE2 receptor. And from the last video we had seen that coronavirus attaches with the type 2 alveolar cell with the help of its spike protein. So what is this? This is ACE2 receptor, angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. And now the virus has attached with it, and virus contains this RNA. Now the RNA of the virus enters through the ACE2 receptor, and this RNA of the coronavirus comes inside the cells. Now in our cell we have got this nucleus portion, which contains our genetic material in the form of double-stranded DNA. This is our DNA, and this whole is the nucleus. This is nucleus, and this is our genetic material, deoxyribonucleic acid. But the genetic material of the coronavirus is RNA or ribonucleic acid. Now what happens after its entry into our cells? We have got very important part. This portion will be known as cytoplasm. Outside of the nucleus is the cytoplasm. So nucleus, our genetic material, is protected by being in the nucleus. Nothing goes from outside to the inside. In the cytoplasm we have this very important structure which we call ribosomes. What is the purpose of ribosome? Ribosome has got a very important purpose. Whenever DNA wants to make any protein for our body, it first creates RNA, that is known as the transcription. That RNA will be coming out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm in the form of the messenger RNA. This messenger RNA is a single-stranded structure. It goes towards the ribosome, attaches with the ribosome, and ribosome will translate it and produce protein. These protein will later on be shifted out of the cells with the help of certain transporter proteins. This is how normally ribosomes work. But whenever there is an attack of the coronavirus and they attach with the ACE2 receptors and then they send their RNA inside of our cells, these ribosomes think that this RNA is coming from our nucleus or DNA. So they go towards that RNA. They attach the RNA with themselves. RNA comes here. This RNA actually belongs to the virus, not our body. But these ribosomes will translate the message which is present inside this RNA, and as a result of that message, there will be formation of certain proteins. What proteins are those? These will be the spike proteins. These will be the E protein or M protein, which I have mentioned in the last video. And these will be the lipid bilayers, and these will be RNA itself. So these components of the coronavirus are generated by translation of the message which is present inside this RNA which has come from the coronavirus, and later on our Golgi apparatus, our endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. This is a machinery of our body, rough endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus, which generally, whenever a protein is generated by the ribosome, it assembles that proteins or components or amino acids or polypeptides into a structure of the protein. So this is what normally this Golgi apparatus and rough endoplasmic reticulum machinery does. But here it assembles the components of the coronavirus and gives them a particular form of the coronavirus itself, which we call the virion. So a lot of virions are produced. These many virions are produced because these different components which were synthesized by our machinery, not by the coronavirus. So coronavirus hijacks our machinery and generates its own components, and then some parts of our cells, they present these components or the viruses outside of the body, or they, whenever they are higher in number, they exocytosed, they come out of the cell is broken down, and these viruses, they come out of the cell and they go on to infect other cells, and this process keeps on going as long as our immune system is not able to defend itself against this process. So that is why coronavirus or the viruses are known as submicroscopic infectious agent, which replicate inside the cell of a living organism. They do not replicate outside of the host. We are their host. They replicate once their genetic material has got inside our cells, takes over the machinery which is used normally for production and assembly of the proteins for us. Our hormones, our different muscles, everything is a protein. Majority of our body is composed of the proteins which are synthesized with the help of the messages which are present in the DNA. First, DNA converts into the RNA, that becomes messenger RNA, comes out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm, attaches itself with the ribosomes. The production of the RNA from the DNA is known as transcription, and the ribosome decodes the message from the messenger RNA and makes protein, which we call the translation. As a result of formation of these different amino acids, they are connected together with the help of transfer RNA, and they form the polypeptide. The polypeptide, they join together to make the proteins, which are then taken out of the cells to be used in different parts of our body. This is what normally our system works. But once coronavirus genetic material is inside of our cells, it hijacks our machinery and makes them to make components which actually belong to the coronavirus. Our ribosome is not a thinking body. It sort of takes the RNA from the coronavirus as a component of our own messenger RNA. So this is how coronavirus uses our system to make its components. But if our immune system is strong enough, our immune system will destroy not only the coronavirus but also those cells in which it is trying to replicate. and this is how we get rid of the coronavirus. But if our immune system is not able enough to timely identify and destroy the coronavirus, then there will be generation of a large number of the coronaviruses, and ultimately it will take over our respiratory system. It will make a lot of fluids and different components of the immune system attack our own lungs, different parts. That is known as the cytokine storm. So this is a basic concept of how coronavirus enters in our body, why it actually attacks respiratory system, and this is how most of the people lose their lives when their immune system isn't working well. Thank you so much for watching the video.